corner, meeting room 2, with all 3 members present. I'd like to have you all rise and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Just a notice to the public, the Board of Supervisors welcomes comments from the public during the time allowed for discussion. You are requested to approach the microphone, state your name for the record, and limit the time to present your remarks or that others may be given the opportunity to speak. The normal process on any agenda item is for the chairperson to read the item from the agenda. The board is given an opportunity to comment on the issue and to place a motion on the floor. An opportunity for discussion may be presented, at which time the public may participate, and a roll call vote will follow. First item on our agenda is the approval or amendment of the agenda that has been presented.
Mr. Chairman, I motion that we approve the agenda as printed.
Mr. Chairman, I second that.
A motion and a second. Roll call, please.
Patton.
Yes.
Thompson.
Yes.
Gravenbauer.
Yes. Moving on to item number 2, the point of interest this morning. This is the Lease County Farm Ground Bid Letting. Lease of 230.0 acres, more or less, in Section 9 and 10 Township 83 North, Range 19 West, Washington Township, beginning March 1st, 2016. Additional terms of the farm lease were contained in requested bid packets as advertised in the Times Republican newspaper on December 4th, 2015, and Mid-Iowa Enterprise newspaper on December 10th, 2015. I will now ask the auditor recorder, were there any written bids received and recorded to start the public bidding?
We have one written bid.
One. All right. What? And again, we will start the bidding from that bid.
The bid amount is for $37,000.
How much? What did you say?
$37,000.
And that is how much? We need to break that down per acre.
My desk drawer.
We'll get a calculator now.
We were at 43 before. From whom?
It was from Ryan Pickard Brothers. Pickard.
Picker. 372?
37,000 even. 37,000 even, correct?
Correct.
Always bring my calculator.
So do I. I can't believe it didn't come in with it, of all days.
Too much going on this morning.
Now, if we was really good at math and division.
It's a little over 160.
I don't want to make a mistake and do it in my head. I know the number, I don't want to say it. $160.86 an acre.
160.
Could you repeat that, please?
160.86. That's on 230 acres.
$160.86 per acre would be the opening bid. And we'll go in $25 increments. Start off with that. We got a 160, and I'm just going to say with the 160. We got 160 right now, and we're going to $25 increments. We're looking for 185. 160. Asking 185. Looking for 185. We got a 160 total. Looking for 185. 160. Looking for 185. I'd get into the auctioneer's chant, but I don't want to confuse myself. So 160, 86, looking for 185. 160, looking for 185. 160. Don't scratch your head, Jared, or you just got in the farm business. 160, looking for 185, 160, look for 185, 185 now looking for, holy smokes.
I got it.
185, 86. Looking for 209. We're at 185, 185 looking for 209, 185, 5 looking for 209, 185 I'm looking for 209. 185, looking for 209, 185 to 86, 209, 86 now, 209, 86. Looking for 234, 209, 86, looking for 234, 234 now, looking for 259, 259, looking for 284, 284, 259 now, looking for 284, 259, 9, looking for 284, 259, looking for 284, 259, 59, looking for 289, excuse me, 259, looking for 284. 259, 9, 259, 8, 284 now, looking for, gosh darn this is,
284.
looking for
309.
309. 284, looking for 309. 284, looking for 309. 284, 4, looking for 309. 284, looking for 309. 284, 284, looking for 309. 284, 4, asking, looking for 309. 284, 284, looking for 309. 284, 4, looking for 309. 284, 284.
Should drop it to the $10 range.
284, we'll drop it down to 294. 284 now, looking for 294. 284, looking for 294. 284, looking for 294. 284, looking for 294. 284 going once. 284 going twice. You got it, 284. 284, 86.
I believe you gentlemen owe me a
No,
cup of coffee.
Now, was your bid 284?
Yes.
It was
284, 86.
Oh, you're gonna make it 86?
Yeah, that's what the original one was, when it started out at 160, 86, and went for 284, 86. Okay, so 284, 86, and take that times your 230.
65, 517.80.
65, $517.80. Okay, so there were one bid received and recorded, and we started the public bidding. The 230 acres went for $284.86 for a total lease of $65,517.80.
Yep.
I would entertain a motion.
Lee, do you want that under Smith Farms? Okay. Mr. Chairman, I motion that we award the lease to Smith Farms, the annual cash rent of $65,517.80, with 1/2 payable March 1st and 1/2 payable November 1st of each year of the lease term.
Just back up just a second. Danny, you were using the 84 cents. Did you want 84 cents on this motion? or
86.
86 cents?
Yeah, 284.86.
Okay.
And I just did it on an annualized basis,
Yep.
dollar
Okay.
total.
I'll second that.
All right, we've got a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Patton,
Yes.
Thompson,
Yes.
Gravenbauer.
Yes. And thank you, everybody. Appreciate it. We'll move on to our consent agenda. First item being the approval of the minutes from regular session of January 4th, 2016. Item number 4, File District Court Report 1215, General Supplemental 10% Surcharge for a total of $646. Number 5 is the yearly appointment commencing January 1, 2016, of Condemnation Compensation Commission 1-year term A person having knowledge of property values of reason of their occupation, and we have appointed Reed Riskadal in that position. Deputy County Medical Examiner, Leah Bethel, for a 1-year term. And item number 6, accept the recorder's quarterly report of 12/15, this records management fund of $1,370, e-commerce fund of $1,370, and general basic fund of $48,207.31. Item 7 is approval of the band shell rental agreement. Mobile band shell rental agreement has been received from the city of Haverhill requesting use of the mobile band shell on Friday the 29th through Sunday, July 31st, 2016 for Haverhill Days. Item 8, accept annual manure management plan update. Hedler Brother Farms, ID number 58297. Annual update report received and placed on file with no changes made to the manure management plan, the 4-year plan index. And number 9, approve claims as audited and authorize the county auditor and recorder to issue payment of same. The listing of claims at this meeting will be included with all claims paid for the month of January. The January list of claims will be part of the first meeting in February. I would entertain a motion on the consent agenda.
Mr. Chairman, I move to approve the consent agenda as printed.
Mr. Chairman, I'll second that.
Got a motion and a second. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Patton,
Yes.
Thompson,
Yes.
Gravenbauer.
Yes. All right, moving on to item number 10, Line Energy Project update with Ken Vincent here with no glasses, so have at it, everybody. Good to see you again.
Well, thanks for having me here again.
We're going to name the chair after you.
Really?
Yeah, get a little gold plate coming.
I don't think I'll try to use these things, it's not very effective. But that makes
You want
no
mine?
sense.
I'll give you mine.
Please. Like to just give you an update on what progress has been made at the Marshtown Generating Station, and give you an idea of some of the things that are upcoming.
Is that better?
That's better. That way you can hear you worldwide.
Okay.
We got our IT guy back there just going.
Okay. I have a few things I'd like to talk about, and then there are a few slides that I have in this PowerPoint presentation. So, I can't see. Can you tell me where the cursor is?
Here in the bottom right.
I can't see the.
Do you want to come up here and we can move your chair up so you can-
All I need to do is click on a little icon down there, and it'll start the PowerPoint.
Wait, we'll get our IT guy here. He's a trained professional.
That one right there. There we go, right? All right. Thank you.
How many people does it take to get a cursor?
About as many as it does to change a light bulb. Currently, there are about 650 workers on site. Yesterday, I learned that they're probably getting close to the peak, and there may be closer to 700 out there. But some days, it's a little bit less than that because of the weather. We've had some severe weather where and high winds and snow and stuff like that, where they could not actually work on the outside of the plant. So that's affects the numbers. So yesterday, or actually last night, they started a night shift, and they started slow with just small numbers, about 40 people. And over the next few weeks, they'll ramp up and have more people on the site at night. I'm going to show you a series of pictures. These aerial photos were all taken by Gary Brandenburg. I always want to give him credit for what he does for us as he takes all these pictures for us. You can notice there's a lot of structural steel that is being built with the plant. Right here, that is the administrative area and the control room area. There will be more structural steel that will come out from that point as well. You can see where the stacks are going up. You can also see over here where that is one of the tanks, a 1 million-gallon tank for fire protection on the site. As far as the construction is concerned, steam turbine components, most of those are in place. There is one small lower pressure turbine that is not in place yet, but it will be shortly. And the generators are all in place for the steam turbine and plus the 2 combustion turbines. There have been 2 overhead gantry cranes installed. I'll show you a picture later, but if you look at the kind of on the left side of the structure, you can see a yellow area. I don't know if this will show it. Now this is not going to work anymore. So anyway, that's the one that will be in the combustion turbine area, and then there's one over in the steam turbine area usually for maintenance purposes. Structural steel installation continues to go on. The generation step-up transformers have been installed and filled with oil. Piping installation, steam, water, fuel gas, etc., all those kind of piping applications are continuing to be worked on outside of the actual plant and then inside the plant as well. Fire protection and the demineralized water tanks are under construction. You can see I pointed out the one on the far right-hand corner. The cooling tower, and I have some photos of that. Steel erection, well, it's actually fiberglass erection is taking place on that, and it's going up very, very quickly. The natural gas pipeline that was built last fall, or completed last fall, has been purged and has been packed with gas. So it is to the site. It is not brought into the site yet. It's just to the gas yard. But at some point in time, when the lines are ready, and the generators or the turbines are ready, they'll run the gas in there. Conversion of the Sutherland Station combustion turbines, the small ones, the 50 megawatt units that are currently run on oil, those are in progress of being converted to natural gas and should be ready by this summer. Let's see. Oh, one thing that we recently did, and I'll show some pictures of that as well, is if you recall the last time I reported, we had helped train the Marshalltown Fire Department in high-angle rescue and confined space rescue. Since that time, last month, we brought the fire department out here, the various crews, over a 3-day time period, and did a walkabout around the plant before the actual sighting is put on it. So these firefighters are going to understand where they're going to have to get and some of the hazards they'll be facing. So it was pretty interesting to have them out there. They're very engaged, they're very professional, and Marshalltown and Marshall County are lucky or fortunate to have such good employees there. I'll show a few pictures here. Again, these are all aerials that Gary Brandenburg has taken.
There's like a little city out there, isn't it?
Yeah, it is.
What amazes me
It's a big parking lot,
what
too.
you have for the employees.
Pardon?
The parking lot you have for employees. I mean, that just,
There's
you
a
can see
picture
that
of
off
it.
there,
There's a
yeah.
picture of it right there.
Yeah.
So when you get 700 people out there, craft people working, and then whatever number there are of staff people, those of us that don't do anything, like me, so it's quite crowded out there.
You could run for supervisor. You've got your qualifications done.
Don't do anything? Yeah. Okay. Yeah, this is just another photo. This is looking to the east, and you can see the large parking lot, and then the laydown area. The laydown area is just a lot of steel components, parts, pipes. It's just, and then fabrication areas. Like you say, Denny, it's like a small city. And you can see Sutherland Station clear up to the top of the photo. This is looking north towards Sand Lake. You can see how far, and the bottom down there is the Union Pacific Mainline Railway. It goes all the way, the fab yards and so forth go all the way up to it. Clear on the right-hand side, down in the corner, the lower corner, that's the cooling tower. I have some pictures of that. This was taken, probably a month or 6 weeks ago. This is the installation of the steam turbines generator into the steam table, steam floor. And that was an interesting deal, where they brought the steam, the generators over on the multi-tracked or multi-wheeled device, and then had a small gantry crane that they lifted it up there on. There you can see the gantry crane that is in place for the above the steam turbine. I just have a series of pictures here, just different angles of what's taken place out there. And it has changed since these were taken. These are about a week old, I guess. Again, you can see the gantry crane.
Will they leave the gantry when they're done?
Those yellow
For
gantry,
moving stuff
they'll be permanent.
in the building, okay?
Right. When you look at the floor of this, where the steam turbine sits, it's a very, very large area. But the reason for that is when they take those things down for maintenance or for repair or whatever they have to take them down for, and the parts are spread out, they need every inch of it. It's just full of components. But here's just another picture. You can see where the stacks are starting to go up. Again, you can see that large tank kind of in the middle. That's the fire protection water tank. These are just a couple of the parts or sections of the stacks. And what they do is they put some of it together on the ground, and then they'll transport it over to the stacks and then lift it up with cranes and weld it in place there. That's just a fabrication area. This is a shot of the cooling tower. Those are fiberglass components in there, and because you don't want anything rusting out, because it's exposed to water all the time. It's another angle of it. You can see where it sets in relationship to the plant itself, clear in the background. Just another shot. And then I mentioned we had these firefighters come out, and this is just, we had several photos that we took of the firefighters, geared them up, took them out on a walkabout, and I took these photos just so Chief Ryerson knew that they had shown up and they did come out and view the
So how do they do that, Ken? Do they have a layout map of the building? So if something would happen in a different quadrant or so, they would know?
I don't think they have a specific layout or a plan of the plant. My guess is that if something were to happen and they would need to go in and do a rescue, that they would be accompanied, obviously they would be accompanied by MGS personnel to get them there.
I see.
So, and right now it would be KBR or one of the other contractors during construction. So, this is the gas yard. Like I mentioned, the 13.5 mile gas line was brought into this point. Divides into three areas. One goes to the new generating station. One goes over to the Sutherland station for the small turbines over there, and then one goes into the Marshalltown gas distribution system. The line was actually built a little bit bigger than what it was actually needed for the plant, the new plant, so that it could serve these other two, the existing Sutherland station, and then CTs, and then the Marshalltown distribution system. And this is just a photo that was taken. Actually, it's a sunrise, but it looks good if it's a sunset too. So I just thought that was a nice picture. So, any questions about?
On your water supply that you have for emergency purposes, how do you keep that from freezing then?
That's a good question. I don't know. I should
You've got a
know.
lot of steam there, maybe you run steam through the bottom.
It might be jacketed in some way. I don't know the answer to that, but it might be something like that. They put trace wire out there on some lines because they don't want them to freeze up. That might be the answer. I'll find out and get back with you.
Right, just interesting.
It's a good point.
Well, as always, thanks for giving us the update.
Appreciate you coming.
Well, thanks for having me. And,
It's always interesting to see the progress that it's making, for one. Now, why would the night shift, actually be going on with the night shift? Why would they? Just another
Well, I don't
day
know,
shift?
there's a lot of fabrication, there's a lot of pipe work, there's electrical work, welding, they're just all different kinds of jobs and duties that they could be doing at night. You know, it's pretty confined space out there. You know, you get 700 people all in one space, that's pretty tight, and I think, you know, just for efficiencies, they probably spread them out a little bit. And
How long before they enclose the building?
They have started putting on the siding, and I apologize for not getting a photo of that, but it's just been too cold to go out there. But they have started on the east side of the plant. You cannot see that from any place, like on Main Street or Nevada Street. You can't see any of the siding yet, but it is underway. Hopefully they'll have it done to help with the production.
Probably see it at Mike's place first.
Probably.
I tell you, but at night that is really something out there, all those lights. I mean, it's just,
Yeah.
you're like a little city.
Yeah, and that's what they've done, because you have to make it just as safe
Oh, yeah.
at night as you do during the day. One of the big problems they've had is the ice. You get snow out there, you get ice, and they've had to do a lot of salting, a lot of sanding, I guess maybe is better.
I'm sure you know this, but Construct's doing the sanding on it, and they had to make those guys take a 3-hour course on how they wanted it sanded.
Well,
And so, you know, just so I guess you don't go around and put a lot of sand or
yeah,
anything in
it's,
the wrong places.
exactly. You don't want to have it to where it messes up something in the future. The security has been tightened significantly. You just can't walk in there as a vendor and get permission to go in there. You have to get approval, and then the guard shack will call down to either the contractor or to Alliant and say, well, this gentleman's here ready to do whatever he came here to do. And we have to escort them. Everywhere they go, they have to have an escort.
Lee says they follow him right now back to the deals. Lee Knudsen.
But it's tightened up, so.
Should be.
Yeah.
Absolutely, right.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. All right, we'll move on to our item number 11, approved personnel actions. First one being William Howard in the Sheriff's Office, a full-time jailer, at a total of $17.25 an hour. This is effective on January 18, 2016. And again, these two are actually filling the current, they're just replacements.
Vacancies, yep. They're
They're
not new.
Vacancy, not new, just a vacancy.
The sheriff plans by the end of spring that we'll be back to full staff out to his facility. We've probably got one more in the pipeline between now and the end of this fiscal year.
All right, I'll entertain a motion.
Mr. Chairman, I would move that we hire William N. Howard, Sheriff's Office, full-time jailer, $17.25 an hour, effective January 18th, 2016.
Mr. Chairman, I'll second that.
All right, we've got a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Patton,
Yes.
Thompson,
Yes.
Ravenbauer.
Yes. Item B, hire Caitlin M. Randall for the Sheriff's Office, full-time jailer, $17.25 an hour, effective January 18, 2016.
Mr. Chairman, I motion that we approve the hiring of Caitlin N. Randall, Sheriff's Office, full-time jailer, at $17.25 an hour, effective January 18th, 2016.
Mr. Chairman, I'd second that.
Motion and second. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Patton,
Yes.
Thompson,
Yes.
Ravenbauer.
Yes. And item C, change rate of pay for Dawn Allison, collections, full-time change rate of pay from $37,740 a year to $40,000, effective February 1, 2016.
Mr. Chairman, I'd move that we change the rate of pay, Dawn Allison, collections, full-time, change rate of pay from $37,740 per year to $40,000 per year, effective effective February 1, 2016.
Mr. Chairman, I'll second that.
Got a motion and a second. Any discussion?
Yes. Dawn works in our collections area and does a phenomenal job. She has been improving the dollar amounts that have come in from individuals that owe on their fines and their collections. Those dollars come in not only to the state of Iowa, but to the county, to our general fund, and to the county attorney's collection fund. This is the closest thing we have within our county of literally a business operation, and she does a phenomenal job. Hopefully, we'll be able to expand this program to some other counties in the future and increase this, because this is literally one of the saving graces for our budget.
And again, an important thing to mention, that money that does come in, she's basically, if the collections stop.
Her
she
job
goes
is correct.
So she's controlled by the collections that she does receive.
Precisely, and she way more than takes in
Yes, yeah.
by a factor of 5 what her wages are be. So this is a very good operation for Marshall County. The county attorney has done a good job with this program, and so has Dawn, and they should both be very, very much commended.
Yep. All right, thank you. Any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Patton,
Yes.
Thompson,
Yes.
Gravenbauer.
Yes. All right, item 12, resolution 2016-0001, moving permits, and I just might as well get Paul up here right away, because this is kind of an annual thing. This is where the Board of Supervisors empowers under authority of section 321.1 of the Code of Iowa to issue permits for the movement of machines, vehicles, or loads, or combination thereof, which exceed the maximum dimensions. And I'll just let you kind of take the lead on this.
You pretty much said it there, but it's just,
Okay.
what this really does is it names the people in my office that can issue these permits for overdimensional and overweight trucks on what usually ends up being single trip permits, is the ones that people, they contact us, they need the permit, and they want to move it today or the very next day. So if there's situations where there's some of us out of the office, I just want to make sure that we have everybody named that we can have issue the permits.
It keeps it from having to come before the board on an individual
And
basis.
and these don't have to, it would never work to have these go through board approval, because
Right.
there's just never the time for that sort of thing. People don't tend to plan ahead on their single trips. And this is also for issuing annual permits and the annual oversize.
These are only good for Marshall County, though.
Correct, and only on, the permits that they have are only good on county roads in Marshall County, not good inside any of the incorporated cities that they're going through, unless they're on a county route that goes through a county farm to market route.
Again,
So
we
they
do
need a
this-
different permit from the city of Marshalltown, and they also need a different permit from the state of Iowa when they're on the state highways.
And we do this once a year.
Yep.
This comes up every year for us, so I would entertain a motion on this one.
Mr. Chairman, I motion that we adopt this resolution number 2016-0001, moving permits.
Mr. Chairman, I second that.
All right, we've got a motion and a second. Further discussion? Roll call, please.
Patton,
Yes.
Thompson,
Yes.
Gravenbauer.
Yes. Item number 13, resolution 2016-0002, blanket road closure. And Paul, let you explain what that is.
This is just you authorizing me to close roads on behalf of the Board of Supervisors as needed for maintenance or any type of construction project. And it's just an annual procedure so that I can close the roads with
Is
your
that like in the
authorization.
winter times or snow? I mean,
It'd be for any reason that
Any
we would
reason
need
you've got the power.
to close a road that's not safe for travel or not to be traveled on.
Do the same people on the last resolution, do they have the power and authority to do this?
This one's mine, I think, just mine.
Yes, okay, I only see one name on it, I just didn't know if you included the other two. All right, I would entertain a motion on this 2016-0002.
Mr. Chairman, I'd move that we approve the resolution number 2016-0002, blanket road closure.
All right, we got a motion,
Do we need to adopt that or approve?
we adopt.
Was a resolution.
We adopt.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, we got a motion to adopt this resolution, need a second?
Mr. Chairman, I second the adoption of resolution number 2016-0002.
We got a motion and a second, any discussion? Roll call, please.
Patton. Patton,
Yes.
Thompson,
Yes.
Gravenbauer.
Yes. Item number 14, Resolution 2016-0003, certification of completion. Mr. Paul?
This resolution just authorizes me to accept construction projects on your behalf and to make the determination that they were built in accordance with the plans and specifications that we let.
All right.
Mr. Chairman, I motion that we adopt resolution number 2016-0003, certificate of completion.
And Mr. Chairman, I would second that.
A motion and second. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Patton,
Yes.
Thompson,
Yes.
Gravenbauer,
Yes. Item 15, Resolution 2016-0004, erect embargo signs.
This is a resolution that I do everything I can to never have to use, but it does authorize me if we have a situation where we have a road or a bridge that can not take all of the legal loads that are allowed on the traveled ways, and it's something I avoid. You know, we do have weight restricted bridges, but I do not like to embargo roadways and take them out of service for any size vehicle. We did have some in our past that were just based on the basis of preventing truck traffic from using this route. That was maybe even a little bit shorter, but just to use in dust control, and I've removed most of them. I don't think I have any embargoed roads right now, and I would have to verify one that I think is kind of in limbo. But there's been a few places where it was used more as a traffic guidance as opposed to really worrying about the structural capacity of the road. And I want to use it just on that. I don't want to, it's going to be used in a situation where we have loads that will damage that roadway.
I don't remember us embargoing any.
The one that always comes to mind for me is one we called the airport road that's down south
Okay.
of Melbourne. There's a little cutoff there that you can take.
Is that the only one we got?
It's not embargoed anymore. And then the other one that we did have embargoed, and I think the signs might still be up, is the road down to Greencastle part. But I'm not so sure. I don't know if those are still up or not. We were going to we resurfaced it and used some subgrade stabilization, so we wanted to get rid of the embargo.
This would include, though, some of this temporary spring embargo and roads are damaged.
It could be even that, yes. If we have a situation where a road could stay open, but just be open for smaller vehicles, we could do an embargo to get things back. But many times when we run into that, it ends up being a closure because we've had situations where we can't even get the rock out on the road.
Mr. Chairman, I would move to adopt resolution 2016-004, erect embargo signs.
Are you going to motion in second?
Mr. Chairman, I second that.
And second, any discussion? When you put an embargo on a road, Paul, are you there with somebody at the DOT or some?
We'd bring it to the board and have
On
you
your
act on it.
request.
And then it would just be a matter of signing it.
I see, okay.
It would have the the same weight restriction type signs like you see at a bridge, restriction.
Okay. All right, we've got a motion and a second, followed by discussion. Any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Patton,
Yes.
Thompson,
Yes.
Gravenbauer,
Yes. All right, moving on to item number 16, public forum. This is time set aside for the public to make comments on topics of county business other than those listed on this agenda. No action to be taken on any of these topics brought up in the public forum. Gentlemen?
Valuations are in. The auditor worked overtime. The information was gotten to the city council before their meeting last night, and they were able to know what their valuations are. The valuations for Marshall County are up approximately $60 million. The vast majority of that increase comes from our 2 wind farms, where 5% of the incremental portion that can be subject to top property taxes come on. The other portion that the real reason the valuations are up is the city has got less dollar valuation into the TIF program this year. So we commend the city for helping out with a little bit of removal of some TIF property, and the wind farms are acting as proposed. That's very good news for us.
Very good news, yeah, exactly. Anything else?
Good.
Public? Hearing none, seeing none. Next item is adjournment, and next regular session is scheduled for January 26, 2016 at 9 a.m. All business to be acted upon at that session should be submitted to the County Auditor and Recorder's Office or the Board of Supervisors' Office by Thursday, January 21st, 2016 at 1 p.m. There be no further business to come before the board. We are adjourned at 9:40.